All right, then we are ready to go. This morning, we're going to welcome our OSO presidents because I have the wonderful duty this morning to go and take our presidents who are coming into office on a president's quest. Again, I'm your OSO president, Melody McGee, and I have the wonderful opportunity to welcome our OSO chapter presidents. And this morning, we're going to go on a quest, and it's a presidential quest. We've got our trusty map behind us, and we're going to also have 4 tools to guide us to. Now, when we did our in-person, I had all of the participants say this rap with me. But because of the fact we know that a Zoom makes a delay between me speaking and you speaking, I'm just going to say the rap for us as we go through it at different times. So I'm going to say it again. We're going on a quest. It's a presidential quest. We've got our trusty map and 4 tools to guide us to. We're going to use our imagination this morning as we use some tools to help us review, learn some presidential concepts that are valuable for our OSO chapter presidents to be able to use during this next biennium. You already downloaded and printed out the 3 documents entitled Strategy for a Positive OSO Chapter Environment, Expectations of a Chapter President, and Duties of a Chapter President. Did everybody do that? All right. I will be referring to that information during this presentation, but I will not be reading it to you. I will be just covering a few suggestions and ideas from these documents. Now, let's take a look at 5 tools to help remind us of what to do as chapter president. The first tool that we're going to talk about is a trusty map. The first tool is a trusty map, and we need a trusty map to help us develop a plan with strategy, and then we need to follow them. Remember, when you think about your meetings, meet at a variety and varied times, dates and places, convenient for working members, as well as your collegiate, veteran, and no longer in the classroom educators too. When you think about communication, it's important to always maintain quality communication with each member of your chapter by creating a strategy of reminding all members about events, including meeting dates, time, deadlines for dues or applications, committee and board meetings, etc. Now, I created, when I was a chapter president, something for all of our chapter members to take home with them after every chapter meeting. I came up with a plan to have magnets that would go on their refrigerators. And what I would do at the end of every chapter meeting, I would put the next month's information on a little piece of paper. I would have the location, the time, what the theme was going to be for the next time that we were going to meet. And then I would put a helpful little flower if it was going to be for the month of May. If it was going to be an April meeting, I would have like a little bunny on it. Here's another one if it was going to be a spring with an egg. Then there's a leaf for a fall meeting. I've got a couple of those. And And then here's one of my favorite ones. If we had a summer meeting, I had some beach shoes on it. And of course, if you put this on your refrigerator, every single time that you open that door of the refrigerator, you would be reminded, oh, I've got a chapter meeting the next month. And that always made everyone smile. But it also reminded them, I have to get to my chapter meeting. So this is one of the ways that I would make sure that my members would also be reminded, besides of the fact that they would get a phone call or perhaps an email of the upcoming meeting. And they enjoy to be able to see that, and it would make them smile every time, again, they would look at it. So that was one of the ways that I kept communication with my chapter members. Also, communicate to your members about the many benefits and services that Delta Kappa Gamma offers only its members, and they cannot receive these benefits from any other area, like chapter scholarships, grants, and then the interaction between the diverse groups of educators, the friendships that we form, the camaraderie that we have, and then as well as all the service projects that we give back to the community in Ohio. Then that's that wonderful emergency fund that's available for those who have tragic situations that occur in their lives, like tornadoes that have happened, electrical fires that might come as a result of something that happens within a catastrophic something that goes on, or a flooding that happens within a dam breaking or something rising up because of a storm. These are things that only Delta Kappa Gamma would provide. Communicate with your chapter is also helpful. If you have information to share with them about the needs that they might have as a member, one of the things that you might be able to provide are through a book that is put out that I have, that my church has, that has some information about it, that talks about health needs, telephone numbers, about mediation services, family soup kitchens that are available, pantries, again, that are available, neighborhood services, medication that you can receive free of charge, healthcare communities, mental health locations, all of these different items that are put together in one book. So those are things that are available that I have if someone needs them. Those are things that are available also if you are a part of our group. We always have information to share with each other. We also promote professional and personal opportunities at chapter, state, and international levels too. It's important for us to communicate with your chapter members who aren't regularly coming to your meetings. Ask them, how would you like to contribute to our chapter? Then communicate by advertising upcoming events with your chapters. Encourage all members, not just the officers, to participate in workshops, conventions, and conferences. Communicate by nurturing OSO officer memberships, as well as with your chapter members. Even though OSO only has 4 business-oriented required meetings, make sure that you plan a few social events in order to allow members to interact socially together. We also need to remember to communicate and encourage each other and listen to each other and respect all members, and make sure that you listen to their ideas and their viewpoints and consider all the views with an open mind. Then there's something else to remember. Communicate with each other by sending certificates out. You can also purchase cards with Delta Kappa Gamma symbols on them, or they have some wonderful cards that have imprinted roses on them, and they also have stickers for thank you notes, for sending out for illnesses, or for those who may have lost loved ones. These can be purchased at either state meetings or also international meetings. You can also purchase pins to be sent out to encourage your Delta Kappa Gamma members. You might also share flowers with them or gift cards. If they are having a birthday, you might surprise them when they come in and have something over their chair that says happy birthday to them, and have a chair waiting for them, just for them to sit in for that special day. And then you might even have a birthday cupcake, which is really a candle, and you might light it and sing to them on their special day. You might have also one of my favorites, which is a happy birthday sign that lights up in different ways. This might be a wonderful surprise to have for them when they come in. Those are things that are just for encouragement of your chapter members. Now, some other things that you might also do is have a big birthday sign. I just didn't bring that. Already hanging up every month for all of those who are experiencing birthdays for every month. Now, encourage all of your members to use their giftings. Recognize them. Maybe they should be able to have some recognitions of what their talents are and have them present at different programs or special workshops or even chapter meetings. For example, a member might share with them one of their special collections. For example, I like to collect turtles. Everywhere I've gone, through vacations, everywhere, I collect turtles. I have a turtle collection like you would not believe. I couldn't even bring it down to share with you. Everywhere I go, I get a different type of turtle. I even have a turtle that was made out of a coconut. They could share a special talent that they've done. They could share a trip experience, someplace they've gone. They could share a classroom memory, like something entitled, "They Call Me Teacher." Or they could even share with you a story about someone they met that made an influence in their lives as an educator. All of these are just some suggestions that you might want to take back with you of some of the chapter meetings of people that might want to share during one of your events. Now, it's important to communicate to develop chapter leadership. Designate experienced or long-term members to mentor the newer members. It's important to involve and encourage different people to be a part and share in participating during your chapter meetings. For example, have different people be greeters. Have different ones provide and read and share inspiration or a poem. Have someone distribute the handouts or the agendas of the meeting. Have someone be a roving reporter so that they can distribute the DKG news. When I was a chapter president, I had many different roles, and one of the roles was I had a toy microphone, and I would put on a little music that sounded like one of the ticker tapes from the old-fashioned news reporters, where it sounded like the typewriters were typing. And that's how I would do like a roving report to let them know what was coming up next in the legislative branch, or something that was happening that was important in the news with going on with the union, or something that they needed to know about what was happening in the government that was going to affect the educators, or something that was happening in the international news. I would try to make it fun and exciting. And that was something that I think that our chapter enjoyed. And make sure again that you might have someone just talk about the deadlines, what's happening happening now, something that we need to remember we've got to be on top of. Developing a plan of supporting also your new officers. For example, assign mentors. You've got a new president that's coming in, so the one who is leaving out of office could also mentor the new one that is coming in. So the first tool that we have to remember is that we need to have a trustee map. So we'll put up our sign here. And that's the reason why we need a trustee map, is to make us remember to develop a plan with strategy in order to follow. So I'm going to go back over. We're going on a quest. It's a presidential quest. We've got our trustee map and 4 tools to guide us to. Your second tool, which you're going to be using, is an OSO briefcase. Every president needs a briefcase. And they need a briefcase in order to stay organized as you travel down your biennium journey. Always keep these documents available and accessible for you to use in your OSO chapter. The first thing that you need to remember are your organization reports, and make sure that these are completed in a timely manner. Of course, you know that you need to download and have available and turned in your chapter's presidential annual report form. You either need to mail it by US mail, or of course you could email it to me. And this is due by June the 1st. So you'll get more information about this as you go along. There's another wonderful form that you have, and it is your form for chapter officers. I have received many of those, letting me know the new officers that are coming in for the 2024-2026 biennium. So I've received a lot of these. Other reports that you need to have are the Form 6, as well as the Form 2 necrology form. Our membership person, Michelle, will let you know about that. Then, of course, you've got that gold key application. Kathy will let you know about that too in her report when she comes up. And then, of course, you'll need that OSO Chapter Officers 110 form. And I shared with you about that already. So all of those items you need to keep organized in your briefcase. Remember to be well equipped with your chapter committee reports and other state organization design forms. Make sure they are completed and submitted within the designated deadline. Then make sure that you design and complete your chapter yearbook. Here's one that we have, and inside our yearbook is all of the information that we need for the year, including our chapter meetings, as well as all the information about our chapter, all of our chapter leadership, as well as the members that are in our book. Now, our book is combined with other chapters, but some of you probably have just your chapter in your book. And this will also be turned into, of course, me, your president. Make sure they're submitted by the correct deadline. Complete and update your chapter officers if you have any changes with them. Now, there's something called a newsletter, and it's entitled The Voice. Make sure that you submit your information about your chapter or anything that they've done or any chapter pictures by the 15th of every month. That's the 15th of every month, so that your information can be included and it can be published. Make sure that you also read the voice. That means not only getting the voice, but opening up and reading the article. And of course, you're going to read the article written by who? Your OSO president. Now, if you remember these tools, it will help you stay organized for many key documents that you will need to keep in place. So, the second tool a chapter president needs is to have an organized briefcase. All right, we're going to say it again. We're going on a quest. It's the presidential quest. We've got our trusty map, and now we have another tool to guide us to. The third tool that our OSO chapter presidents needs are some binoculars. Now, why do we need binoculars? All of our chapter presidents needs binoculars in order to keep looking out for all of our chapter members. Look out for some written tools that will help you discover and find out what to do as you follow the clues. Remember all of your aid duties. Remember to serve with watchful, caring actions as presiding officers at regular and called meetings, and direct the activities of your chapters. Make sure that you watch out and create an organized agenda. That's a plan for your chapter to follow during your meetings. Now, your chapter meeting should last for approximately 1.5 hours in length, unless you're having a meal with it too. Serve in your chapter meetings with a positive attitude, and keep your eyes open and pay attention to your members' needs. Appoint a parliamentarian and watch out for your additional officers, and add committees if your chapters don't have standing and special committees, and then work with each of them to help them as they move along this biennium. Keep an eye on your chapter vouchers and then approve them for payment and all expense claims. Use an editing eye to approve the publications and then review them and evaluate them before you turn them into the voice. Applaud, affirm, and acknowledge your chapter members with recognitions. You can do this by getting some DKG items, and you can add some candy to them. You could order some bookmarks and hand them out. You could order pens for them This one is entitled, is attached to a poem that says, Above and Beyond. Those are just a few items that you could get for your chapter members, just to let them know that you're thinking about them and to encourage them. Now, remember all of these things as you look through your binoculars. So the third tool that a chapter president needs are binoculars, so that you can behold all of the things that you need to look out for all of your chapter members. We're going on a quest. It's a presidential quest. We've got our trustee map, and now we have 1, 2, 3 tools to guide us to. The fourth tool that an OSO president needs to have is a handy lantern. Now, the lantern will help you as you travel through the many seasons of the year that you need to be able to brighten with your information about presidential work duties and responsibilities. It's important for you to keep your path brightened as you work through the different chapter plans and their activities with your members throughout the year. As you work through your plans, maybe you might think about having them fill out surveys or emails. Maybe they should write down their ideas and suggestions. Or they can provide a variety of high quality and interesting and exciting program ideas for you and with you. You can have speakers that include community issues as well as concerns. You could have programs that can affect what's going on in the classroom with those who are still in classroom education, as well as those who have transitioned to their second season of education. Light the way with your chapter as you explore together a strategic growth and developmental plan. Shine while you work and plan strategies to fulfill the Domestic Violence Prevention OSO initiative. Turn on your thinking light and remember to order your supplies for membership, the membership certificates and pins, order forms, and other items that you might need to order. Keep the light shining as you work with your membership chair as well as your treasurer to contact each member who has forgotten to pay their dues. So that fourth tool, as the president, needs to keep their lantern shining brightly through the many seasons of the year so that you can complete your presidential duties and continue to shine brightly. We're going on a quest. It's a presidential quest. We've got our trustee map, and now we also have 1, 2, 3 more tools to guide us to. The fifth tool that an OSO chapter president needs to keep ready to wear are your presidential climbing boots. Now, what are these boots? You will need these boots to keep your feet clean and dry while you're covering any terrain. Keep climbing while you're taking action with the advice and approval of the
So
executive
have you guys
board,
had any swim meets yet?
when you might have some rough mountains to climb within your chapters, step up and make all of your chapter meetings, make your moves and march proudly with pride and purpose as you serve as a voting member, as a president from your chapter at the OSO Executive Board meeting. Last but not least, use your presidential boots to climb over terrain obstacles. Make it a priority as an OSO chapter president to be in attendance at all OSO Executive Board meetings, chapter officer leadership training seminars, OSO conventions, the 2025 biennial seminar, the presidential flower garden Zooms, or the fireside presidential chat Zooms, and if possible, attend international conventions. So the fifth tool that a chapter president needs are the boots to cover any terrain. Remember the 5 tools to use on your presidential quest. The first tool is a trusty map. The second tool for any chapter president to need is to have an organized briefcase. The third tool that a chapter president needs are binoculars for the beholders to be able to look through, to make sure that their members are doing all right. The fourth tool for a chapter president to use is a lantern to keep your way bright. And the fifth tool that a chapter president needs are boots to make sure that you're able to cover any terrain. Then this biennium, as you go on your presidential expedition, you will be able to keep all of your ducks in a row. My chapter president, I know that you will do a great job this biennium. And if there's ever anything that you need from me, you have my information as well as all of my telephone numbers, and there are a couple of them, and my email addresses. And I will be happy to come and share with you at your chapters, as well as talking to you personally. I thank you for your time, and I thank you for sharing with me. I think we are on schedule. So we will now continue on with the sharing with us to inform us about our parliamentary pitfalls that we might occur.